On our list in our Colorado adventure, after curing Mark's Jeep's altitude sickness with super sick dance moves, was a trip to Mineral Creek Trail in pursuit of Poughkeepsie Gulch. We had heard that Poughkeepsie was going to open on this particular Saturday for the first time. It was mid-July, and we wanted to be some of the first people in to that trail. So to get to Poughkeepsie Gulch, the best way to do it is up the Mineral Creek Trail. And we've been on this trail several times. This is actually the second time that we'd been on Mineral Creek on this trip. And I just kind of wanted to show you what this trail is like. It really has something for everyone. It is probably in the Alpine Loop, probably the most technically challenging trail in the Alpine Loop. Again, Engineer and Cinnamon are really just bumpy roads. There are some actual obstacles on Mineral Creek. It's also a trail that people bypass a lot. And what we found was that it's a lot more fun to go this way rather than going in through Silverton and coming straight into Engineer from Animas Forks. And there's a lot less traffic, even though we did encounter some traffic. So let's follow along, and we will get caught up with you when we get closer to the top. Okay, I know that I said that this was the most technically challenging trail on the Alpine Loop, but let's be honest, nothing on the Alpine Loop is really technically challenging. But what I tried to do here is capture most of the obstacles, if you can call them that, along the way, and just to give you a flavor of what this trail might look like. So you might choose it as an alternate rather than joining the droves of rentals and side-by-sides that roll out of Silverton every single day.
So how many? I guess I'll wait for the last guy.
There's 4 in our group. There's a bunch behind that.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
In typical Colorado fashion, the views from this trail are absolutely spectacular. When we arrived at the entrance to Poughkeepsie Gulch, we were greeted by a couple of guys on adventure bikes that informed us that the gate was in fact still closed because the work crew was cleaning up and making sure that there were no logs across the trails, the holes were filled in, those sorts of things, and that the trail would open probably later in the afternoon. Problem with that for us was that Mark had brought his Traeger, and he had enough pork smoking on that thing to feed an NFL football team, and we had to get back in time for supper. So we carried on with the hopes of maybe getting down to Como Lake towards the end of this part of the trail. this is probably a good opportunity to introduce you to the rest of the crew. Coming up this little rock formation here, this is Toby and his wife Shannon. Their kids, Aubrey and Gavin, are in the back seat. They've got a 2018 JLU Unlimited Rubicon. And then behind them in the blue TJ, Mark and Mona Lenski, their daughter Megan, along with them in the back seat too. And that TJ 97 four-banger TJ, and I'll tell you what, that thing has been all over the place and it's done a great job. It's locked up on 35s. It was on 37s previously. 488 gears, chrome alloy axles, long arm suspension, all that kind of stuff. It did not like the altitude, and I think that either a V8 swap or a replacement Jeep is in its future. Just before we got above the tree line, we stumbled upon this abandoned mine site. Took the opportunity to stretch our legs, tell some stories, have a sandwich, and fly the drone around. From this point forward, we were above the tree line on pretty well graded forest roads, and we were able to make some pretty good time through the intersection with Engineer Pass, then down to Animas Forks, and then back up, I think, California Gulch to the top of Poughkeepsie Gulch. And then from there, we got to spend some time, well, you'll see. At the top of California Gulch, we dropped down a little ways down Poughkeepsie Gulch and spent some time at Como Lake. Guys, even the drone shots don't do this place justice. There is just nothing more beautiful than this spot. If I were you, depending on the time of year that I was watching this video, I would put Como Lake, Colorado in my navigator and leave now. Overall, Mineral Creek Trail was a great experience. Good friends, good times, relatively easy four-wheeling. A stock vehicle could do all of this. Stock four-wheel drive vehicle, that is. Just get out there and do it, guys. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, and I know you've got a lot of choices. Do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you don't mind, check out one of my other videos. In this same series, there's a video on Black Bear Pass that you might be interested in. There should be a link up in the corner right about now. And until then, we'll see you down the trail.